Okay.
I think I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll hope Jane can join us real shortly. Pursuant to state executive orders, which temporarily suspend the in-person presence requirements and eliminate the limitation on remote access of the Illinois Open Meetings Act due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the board is suspending the usual electronic attendance and voting section of the board bylaws and will allow all board members to attend this meeting remotely and fully participate remotely. So thank you for that authorization. That's the only way we get things done. Becky, if you could call the roll, please.
Therese Hersey,
Here.
Michael Weissman,
Here.
Lupe Mejia,
Here.
John Thies,
Yes, present.
Gloria Ian,
Here.
Beth Scheid,
Here.
Barb Bennett.
Here.
Jane is coming in right now, and we are missing Michael. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Jane. Jane's there.
Jane's connecting, it says.
Okay, we'll let her be an I here shortly. This is like the House of Representatives. We're going to leave the vote open a little longer until we get all the ones we need.
Jane, we're calling roll. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
got everybody.
absolutely. That's great. Are there any additions, corrections, or modifications to the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Could it move by Beth? Is there a second?
Second.
I didn't see who that was from. It's
Barb.
We'll give it to Barb. Okay, Barb, thank you. Been moved and second. Any discussion? Let's have the clerk call the roll.
Therese Hersey,
Here.
Michael Weissman,
Here. Yes.
Lupe Mejia. Lupe.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. That's okay. John,
Yes.
Gloria,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Jane.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carries. That was unanimous. Public comment. Do we have anybody in the queue?
No.
All right, then we're going to move on to presentations. We're going to start with Foundation President Ruth Wyman. Ruth, thanks so much for being with us. I had the joy of being with you for one of the recent meetings. I appreciated the chance to do that and see what the foundation's doing. A lot of great work.
Yep.
And so we periodically hear from the president of our foundation, and right now that's Ruth. And so I'm going to foreshadow for the board. We have 4 presentations that are listed in our agenda, and this is the fun stuff. I think you're all going to enjoy hearing from Ruth, and then Andrea Rudy from the City of Urbana is going to talk about the Imagine Urbana comprehensive plan. So I don't want to cut either of these people off. This is why I run meetings the way I do, so we save time for things like this that I think all of you will find more interesting. But we're going to shoot for 10 to 15 minutes for each of them. So Ruth, you're on.
All right, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. And we're just excited to continue to support the library, and really pleased with how the library has been able to run during this COVID crisis. And we want to, there's several foundation board members. We've had several that have stuck around, and a couple new ones that have come in. And so we're really just pleased to have all our members and really staying active and really being involved in those. And so you've got our board members listed there on the screen. We have the different terms, and so we sort of go through those and are able to share, I think, in experiences as well. This slide we want to talk about. Prior to COVID, we really did have a lot of momentum in building our donor relationships. We had our first donor appreciation event in the spring of 2019. I think many of you, if not all of you, were there. We also did a campaign kickoff event that fall. Since COVID, we've had sort of pivoted more to more personal connections. We've done phone calls, notes, postcards, and we've gotten really good feedback. The board has spent a lot of time working on building our capacity. We did have a fundraising training restructured how we track our funds and have implemented a donor management system, and have put several of the policies and procedures in place. Between fiscal year 2019 and 2020, we actually more than doubled our donors, which is really exciting. This doesn't always equate to double donations because some of the new donors are small, but we did see about a $15,000 increase in donations. So the total fiscal year 2020 donations was just under 70,000, 70. And so that's just really pleasing to see with everything else that's going on and how the economy was. Actually, that was just amazing news for us. We're now in fiscal year 2021, working to retain the current donors and hope to have some sort of gathering later in this year when it's safe to do so. Our main fundraising strategy is still the annual campaign that happens in October, November each year. In 2020, and I think most election years in the future, but we waited until after the election to send out the mailing just so it wouldn't get caught up in all the election mailings that were going out as well. And so that kicked off our promotion. And we want to especially thank all the library board members who donated. Again, we've seen some big increases and in numbers and in numbers of donors and in the total contributions collected. So looking at this new slide, each year the library does request a grant for various projects that benefit the community. In this current year, so we're in fiscal year 21, the foundation supported live music concerts, which have gone online now with COVID, an author event during Pygmalion, which was a conversation between Bernardino Evaristo and the poet Terrace Hayes, that was moderated by the author Chris Albani, held online and actually had views from all over the world. So that was sort of neat to see. We've expanded the circulation of Wi-Fi hotspots, which have been very popular due to more people working and learning remotely. And so we're really pleased to be able to have that available for those who need it. And then we've also continued to fund the archives interns to process the Chinook collection and provide funds for the library's development and promotion staff. So those are really the highlights. For the next fiscal year 2022, we plan to continue to support all those items, and there's a match to the City of Urbana Arts and Cultural Program grant that I believe we have now received to create. We just received notice that we received that. That's to create a mural on the building we own on the southwest corner of Race and Green, tentatively called The Magic of Reading. So we are excited to be able to start that and to announce that. We have funds to support staff professional development. In fiscal year 2020, the foundation sent several staff members to the Public Library Association conference in Nashville right before the initial COVID shutdowns. We're not sure if the 2022 Public Library Association conference will be virtual or in person, but we want staff to have the opportunity to participate, especially those who have not attended in the past. And finally, in addition to the library's grant request, we have several other funds that will be supporting the library projects in fiscal year 2022. That includes Megan's Fund, which was established by Glenna Spitzy in honor of her daughter Megan, that annually gives to support youth services. We've got a new fund called the Nick Rudd Music Fund. It was established in honor of Nick Rudd and has already greatly expanded the vinyl collection. And we'll have some library programming in fiscal year 2022 for that. So that's really what I wanted to present and provide to you all. And again, thank you for having such an amazing library that is just so easy to fundraise for. And it's really fun to do so as well.
Ruth, thanks. And I had a couple of questions and I want to open up to the floor. For me, what are the sorts of things, if you have off the top of your head, that ways that we can help you? So one idea I thought of was if you don't have 100% participation amongst the library board in fundraising and making contributions, that would be a good goal to reach by the next time that you come back to speak to us.
Yes.
But beyond that, are there other things that we might do to help you do your job?
I think as the library promotes its activities, I think that throughout the community, that really helps us to be able to fundraise. You know, in our fundraising, we've learned you're really supposed to try and have about 7 touches a year with people. And some of that is the fundraising letter or a thank you card or event. But the other events are really ones that the library can and is doing, and that is these events that people then come to. And so sharing that information, publicizing those events, and then of course when they are events that are funded by the Library Foundation, to be able to remember to promote that, just so people know where their dollars, when they donate to the Urbana Free Library Foundation, are really going to these amazing programs that you all are hosting.
Thanks. Okay, from the floor, are there questions for Ruth?
Ruth, I have a question about the mural. That's kind of curious. So do you have an artist in mind? Do you solicit from the artist community? Is it like full community, Urbana? So how do you envision finding the artist to do this mural?
So I don't have those answers for you, but we've got a library foundation meeting coming up. And so I will find out for you and for the library board and let you know for sure sort of where we are on this stage. So we just found out that we got the grant, but I imagine that the next stage then is sort of getting all of the everything else in place. So without having any answers specifically, I can tell you I will get you those answers.
Okay, looks like Celeste has her hand up.
Great.
Yes, Celeste.
I'm going to defer to Rachel, if that's okay.
Rachel.
Her colleagues worked on this.
Sure, absolutely. So the library is pleased to be bringing in Urbana native and artist Langston Alston. He is a muralist who is based out of Chicago and New Orleans and has done a couple of murals in town. We are pleased to bring him to the library and to the library building.
Oh, that's fabulous. One of my favorite community people. Excellent. Great.
Which murals has he done in town, Rachel?
Oh goodness, I'm afraid I will misspeak here. He has done a mural that is on a local barbershop in town on Champaign. I cannot think of the name of the business itself, but I could look that up for you.
No, that's okay.
Also in the old, what's it now? The coffee shop just right across from Busey Bank on Main Street, the back room, that was all Langston's work. And then the back wall on the alley, that's all Langston's work as well.
Okay, thanks. Charisse, saw your hand.
Yes, I was wondering if it's possible. Well, since I'm the council person representing, we have a wonderful poet laureate that I think maybe some night that we can feature too as an event, if that's possible, or how will we go about doing that?
Charisse, I will be happy to have Lauren Chambers, our programming and outreach manager, reach out to the Poet Laureate. I believe we have some things in the works with her as well, including the Black Herstory Slam, but I'm certainly will be partnering with her in other ways as well.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Charisse. Any other questions for Ruth? All right, well, Ruth, on behalf of the main board of the library, I shouldn't say main, we're kind of equal of stature. We really appreciate what you're doing. And it's not an easy job, but the progress, the trajectory of the foundation is fabulous. And just it inspires us to do more. You talk about the marketing, the way that you benefit from our marketing. So it inspires us to redouble our efforts to make what you do easier. So thanks so much on behalf of the library board.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And again, it's a really easy fundraising ask when you're doing it for the Urbana Free Library. So that makes it easy. And of course, we have amazing staff, and especially with Celeste and with Amanda, wonderful to work with, and then we've got an amazing board. So just it makes it all fun as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. All right, we're going to move on to, I'm going to say a young old friend. Can I say that? Andrea?
Oh, you're so kind.
So yeah, I've known Andrea for a long time, and we've been on multiple things together, and it is a real tremendous benefit to the city of Urbana that Andrea's considerable talents are being taken advantage of for the purpose of the new comprehensive plan. And so coincidentally, she and I were having a conversation recently, and she was simultaneously having a conversation with the library, with our staff about coming. And so I can't take credit for it, but it would have happened no matter what. I'll just say it that way. Andrea's here. So Andrea, we want to hear about what's happening with Imagine Urbana, and thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the introduction. I don't know that I quite deserve that, but thank you very much. It was very kind. So Donica is going to run some background for me. So she's sharing her screen. I'll just make some brief comments first, but I thought I'd rather show you a video that we did that I think it's better than me talking, and really gives you a feel for the comprehensive plan. But one of the things I'd like to point out is COVID really did, there's some bright things that came out of it. And one of them is that people are now receptive to other forms of engagement. And I think we're going to be able to reach a broader population with the comprehensive plan than maybe we have in the past, due to these different tools that we have now that people have gotten used to using. But the comprehensive plan, I'm not telling anything that you guys don't already know, but it provides a vision for our community. So we're looking at what's Urbana going to look like in the next 10 and 20 years. So the Imagine Urbana brand is what we've come up with. We had an internal staff group that came up with that. We had a local artist do the graphics for us, and you'll see some of those on the website as well. But we launched our website first. That's the first digital tool we have. We're going to be launching other tools as we go along, but we'll start with this. And I'd like to show the video. This one is called About Imagine Urbana, and it features Lamont Peppers, who is our community outreach coordinator for the city of Urbana. Thanks, Donica.
I am Lamont Peppers, Community Engagement Coordinator with the City of Urbana, and I would like to talk to you about the exciting update our community will be making to the city's comprehensive plan. Traditionally, it is important that the plan contains a general vision and goals to guide policy, development, and resources for the city. Urbana is doing things a bit differently in that we are incorporating many aspects of Urbana life in our comprehensive plan. We strive to make public input accessible to every person of Urbana. We are trying new things, creating new partnerships, and we will take this input and create the comprehensive plan for the future of Urbana. There will be various stages of community input in order to ensure our plan addresses the opportunities, concerns, goals, and visions that all residents of Urbana have for our city. This community engagement portal lives at imagineurbana.com, where you can register for updates, participate in surveys, and get information about the plan and process. By no means are we ignoring, passing by, or trying to get around the fact that we face some difficult challenges. When it comes to strategizing, we know that there are many things that must be given consideration and have to be adhered to. But that's why this plan is about you, Urbana. This plan will impact people who work, live, shop, study, and play in Urbana, and it considers the surrounding communities. Therefore, the plan must come from extensive community input so that it can guide the city to prepare for the future, develop in a way that reflects the vision, and build a vibrant community that includes sustainability, equity, quality of life, and health. We look forward to your participation as we, together, imagine how Urbana can thrive and prosper over the next 20 years.
Thanks, Donica, for showing that video. What I really wanted to get across is that our comprehensive plan, we're looking at it a little bit differently than the plans have been looked at in the past, and that we're taking a broader scope with the plan. You heard it mentioned that the arts are going to be included in the plan, not just the typical infrastructure land use that you would see that's required in a city's comprehensive plan. We really want to focus on what makes Urbana unique. What are those aspects? And to do that, we need everybody's input. And by that, I mean, we really are we just launched our community engagement phase in this past month, and the website was the first tool that we have to do that. But we'll be launching other tools as well. We're going to have a texting tool so that people, you don't even have to have a smartphone, but you could participate in a survey via text, or you can provide us feedback via text. And you'll be able to do that in Spanish, French, and English. Our website is also translates into multiple languages. There's a translator tool that will help people be able to communicate on the website and post their ideas. So I wanted to talk about the website briefly. There are tools on the website, and Donica, if you could scroll down and show the, yes, Urbana Places. So in this one, and she doesn't have to go on to the site, I can just talk about it, but there is a map, an interactive map. And so people can go onto the map and post a pin about a specific location on the map. And if you go on the website, you'll see that the library comes up frequently. There are several pins for the library. People consider the library the center of Urbana, and a lot of activities that are so important to the citizenry that the library is probably the most pinned place right now. But you can post, you can actually post a picture. So we really want to see, all comments. Like I said, we want to see the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we need all of that information to then develop themes. So it's a grassroots effort. We're getting feedback. We'll then to analyze the data and identify themes that come out of the feedback that we receive. And then we'll do a deeper discussion with people in small discussion groups about those different themes. So it's very important for us to get people to register with us, provide feedback so that we can make sure they then get involved in these deeper discussions as well. So in the Urbana Places, I mentioned that you can actually post a picture. So let's say you had a pothole on your neighborhood street. You could take a picture and post that and say, this is where it's at. I want this repaired. Or you can post that this is my favorite place in Urbana. I love it here. Or this is where I would take visitors if they came to Urbana. So that's the Urbana Places tool. The idea wall, anybody can post a thought on any topic, and others can see it, so it's transparent. We do encourage people when they register, their login, how they want to see that is what's going to appear on the idea wall. So if they don't want to actually have their name shown, they can come up with a different login for that. But people will see that real people from Urbana and the surrounding community are posting their thoughts about that. And again, we want all ideas posted. And then there's also a survey on the site so that you can tell us a little bit about, your thoughts. So they're very open-ended questions. We just want to stimulate feedback. People don't have to fill out the entire survey. It won't kick them out if they only answer one or two, but we really want to try to get that feedback. But the biggest challenge that we have is reaching all the different populations in Urbana. And so we're depending on partners, and the library has already stepped up as a partner. We've been working with Celeste and Lauren. We have a student class, a graduate class at the university, an urban planning class, and they've taken on 4 populations that they're going to be specifically outreaching to. And I know they already contacted the library as far as partnering as well. So we're looking out, we want to partner with different groups so that they're working with their populations. They trust, it's people that are trusted. We're already working with the township, for instance, and some of their events that they're having, so that we can piggyback on those and reach those populations in an environment that they feel safe and comfortable. We know that the comprehensive plan is something that a lot of people think, well, why do I even, what's that mean to me? And so another video that we did, and I'll have Donica bring that up. And you heard Lamont say that we want to reach people that don't necessarily even live in Urbana, but they work here, they play here, they do business here, they shop here, they study here. And so we have a video that we're trying to convince people that yes, the comprehensive plan should be important to you and it does impact you.
Why is the comprehensive plan important to me?
My name is Devon Narana and I'm a senior at Urbana High School. The Urbana Comprehensive Plan is important to me as it articulates the vision for my city for over the next 2 decades.
Community and connecting are important to me. And so being part of the planning process will help to give me a voice when it comes to attempting to make sure that when I choose to bike or walk somewhere that I can do so enjoyably and safely.
I came here in 1962, lived on Tremont Street, and I'm currently living on Eureka in Urbana. We need grocery stores. We need a city bank or either a branch bank, and we need a health facility, and we also need a community center for the people in this area.
My name is Terry Beals. I'm from Chrisman, Illinois, farm country. The Urbana Comprehensive Plan is very important to me because I do enjoy coming to this town and I want it to continue to thrive and prosper. The outdoor venues, the music, the art, the restaurants, it's a whole heart kind of a town and we need to keep it going.
My name is Marley Corrado. I am the manager at El Progreso in Urbana. This comprehensive plan is important to everyone, and especially the businesses in minority communities.
I'm Somali Tomzak, and as a University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign parent, it's important for me to ensure the safety and the quality of life experience for my daughter.
I've been a resident of Urbana for 35 years. Urbana's comprehensive plan is important to me because it helps make streets, sidewalks, community buildings, and businesses accessible to me.
Feedback from artists like me is essential to ensuring that the comprehensive plan addresses and allows the artistic lives of artists like me to grow.
So you can see that we really think that the plan impacts everybody and it doesn't matter, where you come from. Another tool that we have on the site is an engagement tool, an education tool. And so to help people be able to be more informed, our first video series on the website is get to know your community services partners. And so we had the township is featured, the park district, all the different taxing bodies that people's tax dollars go to. Each one of them came up and did a video with us, and it's awesome. They talk about the structure, their organization, what their mission is. And so it's to really educate people on who performs what services for you in our city. Because we're such an international town. People come from everywhere. Their governments were different where they come from. Some cities, the park district is under it or the school district. So we have this video that really educates people on all the different services providers. And we'll be doing more of that, especially as themes develop. We'll start doing videos on sustainability, for instance, or other issues that will come up in some of the feedback that we're getting. But we really appreciate the library's efforts in helping partner with us to reach the populations that the library serves. Everybody knows the library and it's a friendly place and an inviting place to be. And so we're really hoping that we can use that venue as for additional outreach. So we only know that we're reaching populations if we hear from that. So we're going to rely on you and others in the community to tell us, hey, have you talked with this group or have you talked with that group, and make sure that they're on our radar. We hope they're already on our list, but we look for your feedback and helping us do a better job and an extensive job in community outreach. So I'd be glad to answer any questions. Sharice.
Yeah, questions for Andrea?
Okay, Andrea, this is, where'd she go? There she is. Okay. Um, the question that I have, because I know that there's a lot of stuff that's done online. And I know that like with the older generation, the demographic, at least in my ward and probably in others, not everyone is computer literate or even owns a computer or has, or, they may have a smartphone, but they just use the phone part of the smartphone. And so is there some old school kind of thing that you can do for certain communities and communicating, that we want their input, postcards in the mail or something, and they just put them back in the mail after they fill it out, or phone calls. I don't know. I just know from what I've been doing the past about 5 days in trying to help people get appointments and stuff to get vaccinated. I realize that a lot of people would rather be contacted than contact. So
yeah,
it's just easier if I don't know how we bridge that, how we make that happen. But is there a way that we can make that happen?
Yeah, Sharice, you're right on point, and I really appreciate you raising it yourself. We are doing what I use the same term, kind of old school methods as well. We're going to be doing flyers, going out into communities, being at different events. I mentioned we talked with the Cunningham Township. We're going to be at the Bucket Brigade so that we can pass out and be there hands-on with people so that, they're in an environment, like I said, that's comfortable to them. And we can hopefully do some one-on-one surveys, actually talk to people directly. Feedback that we're getting, the University of Illinois class is they're focused on 4 different populations with their outreach. They're coming up with strategies and different events for outreach. The 4 populations that they're focused on is the Black community, Latinx, second and third shift workers, which a lot of people probably don't think about, and then people with disabilities. The second and third shift workers is a big population in that it's everything from people in hospitality to in the medical field, et cetera, but they don't have, a lot of them don't have access to come to meetings during the daytime when a lot of us do. So we're going to have outreach methods that can reach them at different parts of the day. But you're right on point, Sharice, in that some people just want to be contacted. I mean, they're not going to voluntarily do it unless we are really actively outreaching. And so like I said, we want to be at different events that are comfortable to them so that we can get information from them. But whether that's surveys, we are going to be sending out a postcard to everyone in Urbana, at least residents in Urbana, that will talk more about the plan, how they can outreach us, how they can contact us. We're waiting for a texting number to get finalized, and then we'll put that in the postcard and get that dropped in the mail. But this engagement phase is going to be a long process. We're looking at, probably going till fall on this first initial phase before we start seeing what kind of themes develop from that, and before we start having these smaller discussions that delve deeper into those themes. But yeah, there's so many forms of outreach that we're going to need to do in order to make sure that everybody has an opportunity and has their say about what they want to see Urbana be in the next 10 to 20 years.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, further questions for Andrea?
And Gloria, thank you. I know one of our groups has reached out to you, I believe, as well, the student group, or at least some of your staff. Appreciate that as well. Thank you.
It's nodding. Here we go.
Yeah, I appreciate the multimodal effort and multimedia approach to getting as much input as possible on the plan. I think it's terrific. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I think it can't be broad-based if you just depend on people to reach out to you on their own. It takes people. A great rule of volunteerism is people like to be asked.
Well, you saw the student in the video. She's actually an intern for us. She's an Urbana high school student, and she's
Yeah.
also working with the teen lab at the library. It was very enlightening because I figured everybody, they social media is their thing. And she said that they don't respond to group, Facebook or social media, et cetera. It's really one-on-one. And so I was surprised that even students want that one-on-one interface. So it was, like I said, she's more in tune with that population, of course, than I am. And it was really enlightening to hear that.
Celeste and I both know Devangana very well. Our daughters are good friends with her, and no, we love Devangana.
Yeah, well, she's a shining star.
Yes, she's great. Okay, Charisse.
I was just going to add to that, Andrea, in that I think a lot of people want to feel that free to actually express their opinion, which they may not feel like they can do if they're in a group situation,
right?
Especially with young kids, because they start flaming on each other. And so I would think, yeah, that and it's not, and it's not just them. I mean, it's my generation too. I feel a lot, people think that I feel comfortable talking in front of a group, but I really don't. I'd rather have you one-on-one, and then we can get down and dirty and do some plain talk kind of thing. But I think a lot of kids feel the same way.
Great point.
Andrea, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And any questions anybody has, or if you know of events that we should be at, I know the events are kind of morphing with the pandemic and releasing different restrictions, et cetera. But we certainly want to be involved in as many events as we can. So appreciate your help. Thank you.
Andrea, the offer stands to come back and give us a report as to how it's going. So at some point off into the future, when you got a progress report, please come back.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Celeste and Becky, Donica. Thank you for doing the presentation for us. Thank you.
Okay, take care. All right, moving on. We've got another highlight for tonight. Donica's going to give us a virtual tour of the News Gazette collection.
Oh, yay.
Yes, so this video was completely scripted, filmed, and edited by archive staff. I think it's super cool. They did it at staff day, so he'll say, "Hello, staff of the Urbana Free Library," and that's where that comes from. But I am just going to share my screen and go ahead and share the video.
Hello, the Urbana Free Library staff. We heard you wanted to see the Champaign County Historical Archive do offsite storage in Lincoln Square Mall. Come inside and take a look. We are now in the basement of Lincoln Square Mall. Through these doors, the library has a small storage room, an office, a large collections room, and a processing room. Our space at Lincoln Square houses our newly acquired News Gazette collection, as well as our ever-expanding archival holdings of materials related to Champaign County history. It also provides a much-needed processing area for all of these materials. In this first small room, we have some recent accessions related to the News Gazette. This includes microfilm copies of some of the Vermilion County editions of the News Gazette. These records may offer different information than our own edition of the News Gazette, such as obituaries related to Vermilion County residents or advertisements unique to their area. Right after this small storage closet, we have an office space. This will hold preservation copies of city directories and serve as a space to accession recently acquired collections. One collection currently in process is the Urbana Free Library collection. This sizable collection contains various records associated with the history of the library. We are now entering the largest storage space we have in Lincoln Square. This room is filled with most of the News Gazette materials we acquired. This includes our massive newspaper clipping files, photographs used by the paper, as well as other records such as non-News Gazette bound newspapers that were published by the company. The archives plans to catalog the newspaper clippings and make them digitally accessible to our patrons. The clippings are organized by subject and year. These clippings were used by the News Gazette staff for research when writing articles. Here we find the photo files. This includes photographs of local people, as well as others featured in national or international news. Because of the large size of the News Gazette collection, we also have some items stored in the hallway space until the collection is properly inventoried. In our final room, we created a processing space for archive staff and graduate students working in Lincoln Square. This includes 4 processing stations and all the supplies we need to properly archive and store materials. Thanks for visiting the CCHA's offsite storage at Lincoln Square Mall today. It was a pleasure showing you around.
Very cool. So
There
what you
you
did,
have it.
yeah, what you didn't say is it was like 40 feet from Weber and Thesis offsite storage. So we'll have, when this is all done, we'll have to go over, just like we've done for the Chanute collection. We should have a retreat where we'll go over a field trip and get a chance to see that. That is a treasure trove.
And hopefully it'll be less messy when you come over. We're still in the process of, I mean, it's such a huge collection. We've been prioritizing, we've been sort of experimenting, beta testing with different ways to index and different areas to look at. So everything's sort of just spread out all over, but it's very cool.
Maybe in the fall or winter, we'll feel comfortable enough to go over and do that. Okay, any questions for Donica?
Just kind of a practical question. So do we have the desks and chairs, or did we buy them, for that? I'm just kind of trying to think how long it would take to do this, and I'm just overwhelmed thinking of just the logistics of getting everything indexed and figure out and think, someone could spend a lifetime down there. And so I'm just kind of curious more for just the environment you set up.
Well, bingo, it's going to take forever. Job security for anyone who works in archives. The desks and chairs and everything like that. Thankfully, so the space is at Lincoln Square, and it was already, all those rooms were set up as office space. So I just kind of was like, hey, can we keep some desks and chairs? And he's like, yeah, then we don't have to move them. So totally just bonus. And we also have in the front office a huge sticker on the wall that says Queen with a crown on it. And I was like, we're keeping that too. We'll just keep all of that stuff. But yes, it is a lot. So we're sort of just testing the waters with small little areas to see, how do we digitize this stuff? How do we index it? What's going to be best for patrons? And we are filling requests that people make for the collection. It's mostly, as Carolyn Vance, the former librarian at the News Gazette, would say, the collection is the index because it is alphabetized and really well organized, and there are active and inactive and they're dated. So it is fairly simple for staff to get through the information, but since patrons can't browse, there needs to be some way for them to know, at least have an idea of what we have.
Thanks.
Charisse.
I guess my question is, would it be a huge conflict of interest if I were to get hired to work there? Oh my God. I will bring my own supply of vitamin D even.
Good idea.
But oh my gosh, I really just, that is just incredible seeing that. And I can't wait to get a tour, like a real in-person tour.
Yeah, we'll plan on doing that. And if you see Jim Webster in the meantime, anybody, it's been a really good relationship. It's a marriage of convenience between Lincoln Square and the library, and what a great use of some of what Health Alliance left behind.
Oh yes.
Okay, unless there are any other questions for Donica, thanks. And let's move on to an update on the building program process. And Celeste.
This on any other day would be super exciting, but I don't really know how I'm going to follow the archives.
Yeah, really.
We're so delighted and so pleased with what staff came up with. Just such creativity and fun. And our one colleague, Shalini, doesn't really like to be photographed, but you just see her twice. So I appreciate herself taking a little, taking herself outside of her comfort zone to get on camera there. And good for her and for Tom for developing that for us. So Fred came and talked to you. We wanted to let you know where things stand as we move ahead down this path of the building program process. Fred talked to the library board. He talked to our management team as a group. And then he came to staff day and talked for about 20 minutes with staff and encouraged them to think about the building and think about the contributions they could make towards the library's future by giving critical feedback as to what the library does and does not do well in the state it's in and what we could be in the future with a different space for our community. So people got really jazzed up. We could see from their interactions with Fred in the moment, as well as really positive staff feedback in the staff survey that we had after staff day. So the next steps are, I've given Ted a tentative, Fred has a tentative timeline to make sure what he and I talked about, we've got down and just looking at vacations and whatever else. And as soon as I get that, I'll share that with you. We're finalizing the questions so that you can start looking over them, and then he will come either to a board meeting or a separate meeting in addition to a board meeting, depending on what the months look like, how heavy they are, and your availability. So it could be either end of April for a separate board meeting, or perhaps early May, or the May board meeting if you wanted to do it at a board meeting. So I'll follow up with John and Beth later, and if you have opinions about this, please let me know, and we'll get that arranged. So we are developing a place on our intranet for staff where we're pulling together photos of libraries with cool elements that may or may not resonate here and inspire conversations and creativity. It's not as easy now to put everyone in a minivan and go visit some libraries. So we are pulling together either virtual tours or photos of other libraries we think have interesting elements to share with staff. And looking at the different resources we have available, like different parking studies the city has done. We'll be looking at the interior building as well as exterior. So we are excited to see it move ahead. And as the months go by, again, I'll give you the survey from Fred. Sorry, not the survey, not a survey from Fred. That's not the word he wants to use. The questions from Fred. And we will keep moving this ahead month by month.
Okay, we're staying up nights, coming up with field trips. Isn't that fun? Great. Celeste, thank you. That's exciting. Any questions about the building program from the board? No? All right, well, then let's move on to paragraph 8, which is our action item agenda, consent agenda rather. I'm going to read through this and then call for a motion to approve. So in our consent agenda, it's proposed as the board meeting minutes of February 9th, 2021, payroll for February 12th, 2021, totaling $100,965.85. Payroll for February 26th, 2021, totaling $101,060.80. Bills for February 11th, 2021, totaling $12,437.42. Bills for February 18, 2021, totaling $18,326.08. Bills for February 25th, 2021, totaling $11,101.88. Bills for February 26th, 2021, totaling $426,569.95. Bills for February 5th, 2021, totaling $27,782.70. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, so moved.
By Michael, is there a second?
This is Lupe, I second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, Becky, please call the roll. Oh, you are on mute.
Barbara Bennett,
Yes.
Beth Scheid,
Yes.
Gloria Yen,
Yes.
Jane Williams,
Yes.
John Thies,
Yes.
Lupe Mejia,
Yes.
Michael Weissman,
Yes.
Sharice Hersey.
Yes.
Okay, are there any opposed? I think that was unanimous. So the ayes have it, the motion carries. And now let's move on to item number 9, which is the action items, 9.1 resolution 2021, and 2 to accept Urbana Arts grant. Do we have any background on that, or are we ready to entertain a motion?
I move that we accept it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jane. Motion by Barb. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to hear, is there someone that can, give us a little information on this?
I'll bet there is.
We work with Rachel Storm at the Public Arts Commission to determine a process by looking at an artist who might be someone whose vision for what the space could look like would match ours. Rachel and Lauren did a bunch of searching for different murals that had to do with books and children and creativity and reading. And so Rachel connected us with Langston, and he was interested in working with us. So we wrote the grant application, submitted it. The foundation said they would match it, which is $2,500 a piece. And we have some information in the director's report about it. So Langston is going to work with up to 13 community members in designing the actual mural. And then we will have it available for other community members as well to help actually paint the building. It'll be the cinder block part that you can see from Green Street that then wraps around the back. So you'll be able to see it easily from Green Street and Ray Street. So it's going to bring a pop of color to downtown and inspire people to think about reading.
Okay. That was announced at the I think this is the grant that was announced on the what was it, Thursday, Friday? The okie dokie. Yeah.
Any other discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Becky, please call the roll.
Sharice Hersey,
Yes.
Michael Weissman,
Yes.
Lupe Mejia,
Yes.
John Thies,
Yes.
Jane Williams,
Yes.
Gloria Yen,
Yes.
Beth Scheid,
Yes.
Barbara Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, any opposed? I think that was unanimous again. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Moving on to 9.2, resolution 2021-3 to accept gifts. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Beth, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Michael. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, Becky, please call the roll.
Okay, Sharice Hersey,
Yes.
Michael Weissman,
Yes.
Lupe Mejia,
Yes.
John Thies,
Yes.
Jane Williams,
Yes.
Gloria Yen,
Yes.
Beth Scheid,
Yes.
Barb Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, any opposed? I think again, that was unanimous. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Fiscal year 22 budget amendments. Should we have some background on that?
I'm sorry, that should say fiscal 21. There's that. Sorry. It's for this fiscal year.
Okay, so it should be fiscal year 21.
I've looked at this a million times. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. We'll make that change. Agenda. All right, do you want to explain what you got in mind?
Yes, because these grants that we're talking about increase revenue, but also spending in this fiscal year. And because they're restricted, we wanted your approval to amend the budget to be able to spend these funds this year.
Okay, is there a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Moved by Jane, is there a second?
I second.
We'll go with Lupe this time for a second. Any discussion? Charisse, you're looking quizzical.
Yeah, okay. Could you say that again, Celeste? Something happened. I had a senior
Good
moment or
question.
something.
So we expect a certain amount of revenue in different gift lines, but these were outside of what we expected. And because of the way the budget is, if we just accepted the revenue but didn't amend the expenses, we couldn't spend the money. So we are going to say, expect more revenue, expect more expenses, and then spend it this year so that we can be responsive to our donors' wishes.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, okay.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, it's been moved and seconded. Becky, please call the roll.
Therese Percy,
Yeah, yes.
Michael Weissman,
Yes.
Lupe Mejia,
Yes.
John Thies,
Yes.
Jane Williams,
Yes.
Gloria Yen,
Yes.
Beth Scheid,
Yes.
Barb Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, any opposed? That was unanimous again. The ayes have it, motion carries. Discussion items, paragraph 10. Do we have any discussion items? Seeing none. Report of liaison officers, starting with the Friends.
I don't have anything to report. Celeste, have you heard from them?
Nothing right now, nope.
All right, the foundation, I suspect we will go off of what Ruth provided for us earlier, unless there's anything else to add. All right, and Heartland Library, Lupe, anything to report?
We are in luck tonight. I do not have much to report new tonight.
This is always an interesting report. That disappoints me. Okay, then on to administrative report.
I would just like to take a moment and thank you all. About a year ago, we were meeting and talking about what we would need to do if we closed the library and things we need to be thinking about. And it was, I believe, the same week as your board meeting that we closed the library on the evening of the 13th. So I am just so pleased and proud of staff and how well we've come together to serve our community in extremely difficult times. The management team has been phenomenal, and you as a board have been so supportive of our efforts to support staff, provide good benefits to them, and keep everyone that we can safe. So thank you. Thank you so much.
I do have a question.
Yeah, Charisse.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I don't know if this goes under what we're talking about right now. But I was looking at the report, and there was something in here about the Etsy website. Can I get more information about that? About like what exactly are we going to be featuring on Etsy?
Yeah, right now, Charisse, it is books that we would be selling on Amazon as well, or other things like maybe books with great illustrations, but they're kind of falling apart, but people might want them for scrapbooking. It's easy to sell sets of books, like here's a bunch of green books that you could use to make a green book purse out of, or things like that. And we might expand to either library t-shirts or bags or things. And I think you had wondered at some point, could we actually sell crafts if patrons wanted to donate them? So we gave that idea to Eleanor, and she's thinking about it, but we want to get the store up and running get it running the way the Amazon store works before expanding more, but we are open to different suggestions. We've had a couple sales already, so that's exciting.
Oh, that is good. Okay. Let me know if you accept that kind of craftsy stuff. I know that just even on the board of trustees, a lot of us do artsy craftsy stuff. Board of trustees, hat pins, or I've got a load of hat pins that I made that I would be more than willing to donate, and you can keep the proceeds that you might get from that. I don't know if that would be helpful or not, but
well, let's talk offline. Thank you so much.
Yeah, something like that.
That certainly falls under Hans Goal 1. And also kindness. Thank you.
Any questions for Celeste?
Actually, on a less pleasant subject, so I just heard some meteorology reports saying, oh, we can expect above average precipitation for the next 3 months. And then I thought about your item about the roof. So what's the scope of this? Is it something like a couple buckets can handle for a while, or what do we know?
So there was a leak in the roof over Mark Ingersoll's office in our rental space. And so that has been addressed. We had 3 roofers out because this is an emergency circumstance. We are not going to do an entire RFP process because it needs to be done expeditiously. So it leaked a couple of times. So the leak is now fixed. But looking at the front part of the roof of the Weber building, it's got multiple layers and it's got multiple problems. So we do have 3 different companies developing bids for us to see what that would look like, to get that taken care of very expeditiously so there's no future leaking. We did discover that the way things are sitting on the back roof, the way the HVAC units are sitting on the back roof, there's some settling on the roof. So while I was up there with the one roofer, a colleague ran and got me a big broom, and I pushed all the water off the top of that flat roof because it had just been pooling, probably from the ice melt. So that was kind of exciting work you don't get to do. Like, they didn't teach me about that in library school.
They should have.
But it was a lot of fun. So since we were having 3 different roofing companies come out, we took the time to have them also go up on the Tepper roof and then on the main building's roof, because of course there's always a thing or two that you need repaired and people are looking for work. And so we'll get a list of the things they all saw, and then we can come up with a package of, since these are not likely to be emergency repairs, like what would a package of some roof repair and maintenance look like at these 2 buildings. We did discover though that the chimney on the Tepper building, and of course the Tepper building holds the archives,
right.
The chimney is literally, the bricks are flaking apart. So the chimney repair is along the lines of an emergency repair, and we'll have 2 bricklayers and 1 other company with the HVAC. There's different approaches you can take. So we again have some very imminent repairs and then some longer term expenses to get our roofs into a good shape. So yes, I am hoping for not rain.
Okay, great. And then maybe the good thing is the backlog of the hail damage for roof repairs, I think, should be cleared out so you can get more competitive bids again. So that's great. Well, thanks for that report.
I think they're still busy. They haven't done our house yet, so they're still a lot of work. A lot of them are out already. Okay, thank you, Celeste. Let's move on. Any board and committee reports? Board president reports. I'll echo what Celeste said about how wonderful our staff has been through this. We are most appreciative and fortunate, and it's hard to believe we have made it a year, basically.
Wow.
And get vaccinated as soon as you can, so we can start going on these field trips, right?
I got my 2 jabs. So.
Oh, you did. Good job, Jane. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, we're just going to say yes.
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 Any
Yes.
opposed? All right, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Great meeting.